right, Dennis Fithian, Jeff Rigger here with terrible Ted Lindsay. Ted, how you doing? How you enjoying Sports Fest?
I'm great. Just got in. Saw an accident. We're coming in off Grand River. Somebody tried to get out too quick and got nailed. But nobody didn't seem as anybody was hurt, so that's always good.
Other than that, life is good.
How about the Red Wings right now? 22 in a row at home.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
It's I get in there probably 3-4 times a week, and we're all personal friends, and of course it's nice to see. And I was so happy the other night when they had it tied. I was hoping I would make sure you win tonight, because it would be an awful thing to just end up being tied with the longest record. So they won that and won again last night, so who knows where it's going to end.
Obviously, you played with some greats. You played on the great production line, but when you look at the greats of this era, especially a guy like Nick Lidstrom, who just seems to be perfect, as everybody says, how did the greats of this era compare to the greats of your era?
Well, you have to first of all look at the game. Our game was a defensive game. Defensemen never went up over center ice unless they were on a power play. The forerunners of that were Red Kelly and Doug Harvey, with the Montreal Canadiens. They were good enough that the management let them go. But then when Bobby Orr came along, he changed hockey. Instead of defensive hockey, they made it offensive.
You mentioned a guy like Bobby Orr, and obviously I would assume you think he's the best defenseman ever to play the game.
No, I don't say that.
No? Who do you say is?
Doug Harvey was a better defenseman than he was, but Doug couldn't skate the way Bobby Orr could skate. Nobody's the greatest. There's many guys with many different talents, and you can't categorize anybody as being the greatest, because Nicholas at his time, there'll be nobody come close to him. Doug Harvey, most people in this complex today never saw Doug Harvey play. They don't understand. He controlled in the power play. There was Bellado, Rocket Richard, Boom Boom, Jeffrion, Dickie Moore. He was like a magnet. He just showed them how to do it on the power play. That's how good he was.
And certainly he won a lot of Stanley Cups there with Montreal. And talking about greatness, going back to your era and now just talking about that streak for 22, a lot of people say, well, it's not the same because Philadelphia, there weren't overtimes. They're going back to the 20s in Boston. It was a completely different era. When you're asked about just how impressive the streak is, what do you say to people?
Well, it's a great hockey team, and Ken Holland and Jim Neal deserve a lot of credit. The most beautiful thing there is that they end up in first place or second place every year. So their first round draft choice is probably an 89th or an 110. So they've done a great job of being able to bring up kids in time. And they draft 4 kids. They put them in college for 4 years. At the end of the second year, you can tell whether that kid's got any ability or he doesn't. Push him aside, bring another one in. They've done a great job that way.
No question about it. And thanks so much for joining us, Ted.
My pleasure.